Hey guys, welcome to an of Bash programming in VLSI. In this series, we will be doing high-speed coverage of shell scripting. Stay tuned till the end of this series for a comprehensive coverage. For more interesting videos, subscribe to Tech Simplified TV and hit the bell icon for updates. Guys, to the third episode of Bash programming. In today's episode, we are going to discuss get opts and while loop, how together we can use them. Printf command in Bash, this is similar to the C printf. String length test, regular expression in Bash, sed pattern matching and substitution. Two kinds of regular expression, BRE and ERE, we'll discuss in detail. So let's begin. The first topic here is get opts and while loop. This get opts is a very powerful tool, parses command line arguments passed to the script. This is the Bash version of the get opt library function, similar to the C language. So let's see an example here. Start our script here and then we'll while get opts, then RWX within single quote and then option. So here the get opts will get all the options from the command line and the feasible options are RWX. So this is first of all the command line switches, that is comes with a dash. So the options will be dash R, dash W, dash X, okay, and the option variable will contain each of the arguments. So let's see at the next step, we write do and then we write a case statement. $option in first case R echo read, okay. So this is for read, we just echoing here, we are for a simple example here, we are echoing the read. Then W is to echo write, X is to echo execute. Then we close the case, okay. Then we close the entire while loop. So this way we can use the get opts along with the while loop to define a set of command line arguments which will be specifically used for particular purpose, each of them. So let's see when we execute this particular script what happens. So guys, first we have the script ./getopts.sh, this is the name of the script, and then we provide three command line switches. So here you can see there is dash R, there is dash W and dash X, and there is a fourth argument ABC, okay. So here the get opts will operate on the dash R, dash W and dash X, and in the left hand side you can see that get opts this particular, when it is used with while, we can access each of the RWX in the case command, okay. So once we execute this line, we get the outputs, three different outputs, read, write and execute. So each case here is considered because we have given the 3 out of 3 command line switches that we have specifically defined. So this kind of command line switches you may come across when you do go to a man page of a Linux inbuilt command. So you can see multiple such switches there which are defined for a specific purpose. Similar way, when we write bash script, we can also define specific switches according to the demand of our script, okay. So this part is done. Let's move on to the next section, the printf command. The printf command is an enhanced echo. We have so far used echo, but in bash we can also use C like printf. It is limited variant of the C language printf library function. So Typically C is the first language that we learn, okay, and there we use printf, and any language one the next we learn, we look out for anything similar to printf or not there, okay, to display echo something on our screen, okay. So here this printf command is a subset of C language. It has a limited functionality, but okay, anyhow the basic things you can do. Its syntax is very close to the C language printf. It is not same, but it is very close. We'll show an example by which you can come to this point. Its usage is like printf, then within single quotes the formatted string, that is that %d, %I, etc., and then the parameter means here it is like the variable, okay, the variable whose value we want to print as a formatted string, okay. So this is a particular format how we are going to use here. There is no parenthesis here, so it's have to be used like this. So let's see an example. We start our script here with hashbang user bin bash, and we set a equal to 55, b equal to 22.5, and c equal to Peter. So these are integer, floating number, and the string. So how we can print this? So print a equal to printf a equal to %d, then we give the \n, we close the single quote, and then within double quotes we mention the variable $a, okay. So here if we execute this, it will print out a equal to 55. Similar way for b, we write b equal to %f and then \n, and then within double quotes the $b. So you can see that here basically what we are doing is we are using the same kind of representation of the formatted string that used to do in C, and the similar in bash. So let's see the string here. So C equal to %f s, then \n, then in double quotation, that is $c. So guys, I would like to ask you to try out at your end, and you can see how the result is coming. So we're done with this section. And one more thing before moving on to the next one, here we can use the \t, \n, all those stuffs that we used to use in C language printf. So it's about it's good to explore. And let's move on to the next section, string length test. So we have printed a formatted string, and when we are dealing with strings in bash, right, how we can test the length of the string here. Testing a string is 0 length. So what we use, the -z, then string, it validates a 0 string, okay, and -n, then string, validates a non-zero string. We'll see an example through which we will actually understand that how these two give us a return, okay. We start our script here, hashbang user bin bash, then we write str equal to beautycat echo, then we write our if command, if within double rectangular bracket we write z, then $str, then write then keyword, okay, and then we write echo 0, else we write echo non-zero, and we close the if. So in first case, the positive return will come as if this string is validated 0, so it will go to the if condition and it will print 0. We define next string as brown rat, and we echo it, then we write the if -n $str2, and within that if what we write, the condition is echo non-zero. So you can see the difference, that the positive return coming from this n will be when the string is a non-zero, okay. So we write the else command here, and we can write the statement echo 0. So and we close the if. So in these two cases you can see that in one case when the string is 0 it will do a positive return, and when it is another case when the string is non-zero it will give us a positive return. So these two serve the same purpose but in a different fashion. Okay, so this is how we can use it. Let's execute the script. If I execute, what will happen that BeautyCat echoes non-zero. So the first if condition we can see here that it will echo non-zero because it has returned because the string is non-zero. In the second case we can see that the brown rat, it is also non-zero, so it is showing the non-zero. In the first case, first if it enters into the if condition, it checks out that this is not working, so it goes to the else. But in the second case it goes to the if condition and satisfied it, and it do not go to the else condition. So these are the two conventions of checking zero or non-zero string length. Okay, so we are done with this section. Let's move on to the next section. So regex is a short form of regular expression. So in this section we will talk about the regular expression in bash. The equal to tilde operator acts much like its Perl equivalent. So here this operator in bash we use for a regex matching. It treats the right hand side and as an extended regular expression. Okay, so let's see some example here. We start our script here with hashbang user bin bash. The comment and the uncomment below packages and then run. So this is a tried and tested script, and here I have given this command just to when you will run right after writing this script, you can comment and uncomment the below comments and see the results. So this is the package name, then we give a different package name. So this is here I have chosen the typical installer packages, right? The Debian and then the RPM. Okay, Debian is for Ubuntu or the Debian series. Okay, RPM is for another kind of Linux distro, and here another is Deb. So the testing, let's come to the testing here. We write here the package name is equal to tilde. Okay, here we are checking the regular expression, then dot slash, then backslash dot deb. The backslash actually makes the dot a non-special character and it treats as is a dot, but before that the dot and the star are part of the regular expression. So I'll come to the description later words. Let's see the example first. And we echo the package name is a deb package. Okay, else we echo the file package name is not a deb package. So and here we close the if. So in this particular regex matching we have done the very basic matching. In this we are checking whether this package name that we are under concern as a package name is a deb or not. Okay, so here we have used deb from the Debian series and RPM. So these Debian and RPM, it will check the file extension here and accordingly it will echo whether it is a Debian package or it is a non-Debian package. Okay, so this is the purpose of this example. Let's move on to the next section. So here we are displaying another example here. Hashbang user bin bash. Start the script. Similarly comment and uncomment as we have done in the previous slide, and here the packages names are there. And here what we are doing is that we are doing package name equal to tilde, we are matching groups. So there are three parentheses, okay, three paired parentheses, okay, and they will match to three different particular strings, okay. And here we write echo package, then check, this is very new thing to you, dollar bash, then rematch, then 1. So this is an array which will contain group, each group that is identified by the pair of parentheses, and this will stored in an array. The array name is bash rematch, and the each of the group item can be accessed with bash rematch 1, bash rematch 2, bash rematch 3, like that. So in the next line we echo is for the bash rematch 3 architecture. I'll ask you to run this example at your end and see what is the outcome. This is tried and tested at my end, so I'll not go in detail, because regular expression is a way that you can match text, but you have to run it in hand to get the exact knowledge, okay. So here I close the if and then else file package name does not appear to be a match, okay. So you try out with the three different package names mentioned here, and you will see how the result is coming. So the another echo is there, standard deb name naming convention, okay. So the total echo will be file name does not appear in the match, standard dot deb naming convention. So here we are checking the dot deb naming convention, okay, and we close it with p. So this is an example where you can check the regular expression. Detail of the regular expression I'll come later, what are the syntaxes, but until or unless you have an example in your mind, it will be difficult for you to grab the idea of the regex. So let's move on to the next section. Here we are talking about the sed. This is another binary available in bash or any Linux distribution. Sed is a stream editor. Now let's see. A stream editor is used to perform basic text transformations on an input text stream. And what is an input text stream? A file or an input passed through a pipe. So when we are typing in a Linux command line, either we give a file or we give a something by pipe, okay. So sed works by making only one pass over the input. So whenever we are using sed and we are operating on a particular text stream either through file or through pipe, it will give one pass. So that means it will do one time scanning, it will not do multiple pass or multiple scanning. So it will not do multiple pass or multiple scanning, but it will only do single pass, that is single time scanning of the entire text stream. Let's see how sed can be used. Sed, we start and then we within single quote we write s, then hello, then world, okay, of the input text, then redirect to the output text file. Here this is the first thing. So we write s is for the substitution, and then hello is the word which we want to substitute with the word world, okay. And then comes the text stream, that is input.txt, and this will, if we do not use the redirection operator, this will just show the output, okay, on the screen, and no changes will be there inside the input.txt, okay. So although it operates on a text stream, but it do not actually touch the text stream, okay. Anyway, anyway it do not interfere with the text stream, but it produces a separate output and you have to capture the output in a separate file. This is by default operation. So another way is that we write sed, then within quote s/hello/world, then left arrow input.txt, and then the right arrow to the output.txt. So we know that left arrow is a stream input. Okay, either we can mention it or not mention it, but it remains the same. Here we give a example how a pipe can be used for sed. So here we write cat input.txt pipe sed, then s/hello/world. We close the quote and we redirect it to the output.txt. Okay, so this is the way, okay, we are using a pipe statement here. So I'd like to ask you just to try out such things at your own, so to get very much familiar, okay, how these things are operating. In this section we are talking about command line options, and the following command modifies the text file and does not produce any output. So sed-i, so I just I, then s/hello/world, then the file.txt. So in previous slide we have seen that when we are using input stream, it sed by default is not affecting the input text stream, but in case we need to change or affect the input text stream, we must use -i. Here we have shown this option. This is one of the important option, right? But in general practice, when you are learning, it's better that you avoid I and try it without the I, so that you can see whatever you are doing is coming as output while the input is remaining at the intact. Okay, so next command line option is -e. It gives the editing instruction to sed. The next one is -f. This is a file name or a script. Okay, sed can have its own script. Okay, the set of instruction we can write into a human readable file and pass it to sed engine by -f. Okay, -n suppresses the automatic output of the input lines. So here I was said in just previous slide that whatever operation sed does, the sed actually echoes it to the screen, but in case we need to stop the echoing, okay, we can use -n. Okay, so these are the basic command line options of sed that we can use. Okay, let's move on to the next section, suppressing a line. By default, sed prints all the processed inputs. We can use -n to suppress the output and -p command at the same time to print specific lines. The following command prints only line 45 of the input file. Sed-n, then within single quote 45, then p, okay, then the text file. So here we are using a sed command, that is 45 is the line number, p is the print. Okay, p, this goes to sed and it prints only the line number 45 and rest of the lines are suppressed. The following example prints the first line and the first line of 1.txt and the last line of the last file 3.txt. Okay, so here sed -n, then within single quote 1p semicolon $p, then 1.txt, 2.txt and 3.txt. So what it will do, the following example prints the first line of the first file and the last line of the last file. Okay, so this way we are using. So you can play it around and see how you can vary, because it is a non-destructive output. non-destructive, that means the input remains intact. You can see the output on your screen and compare. Okay, so this way you can try out. So if we want to reverse this behavior we have just mentioned, that is in the previous bullet, right? So we can use -s. Okay, I'll ask you to try out at your end. Set exit status. So exit status is a very important thing, because when we are running a command line tool in a script, we do not know how it exited. So capturing exit status has been already discussed in my previous episodes. So go out and watch there in case you are difficulty to recall. So let's begin this particular section. An exit status of 0 indicates a success, and a non-zero value indicates a failure. GNU said, there is GNU is a development in Linux, right? GNU said returns the following exit status on error values. 0 is a successful completion. 1 is invalid command, invalid syntax, invalid regular expression. Okay, so it gives invalid whatever, it could be command, your syntax, or regex, whatever using. Okay. 2 is the exit status. One or more of the input files specified on the command line could not be opened. That is, the file is not found or the read permission is denied. Processing continued with other files. Okay, so if there are multiple files are there, in case of one file or two file it is there, it will issue the exit status 2 and it will continue with the other. 4. An IO error or a serious processing error during runtime. So the 4 exit status means that there is a some error in the IO. Okay, we are using pipe, and whether we are in redirecting a input text file. Okay, so in that process something have wrong happened. Okay, so in that case it will do issue exit status 4 for said. So we are done with this particular section. Let's move on to the next section. Here in this particular section we are talking about the regular expression engines, that is BRE and ERE. Okay, so now what is the regular expression engines? So basically this is the engines that takes care of the regular expression that you give to match with the text that is in our concern. In Linux world, there are two popular regular expression engines. The POSIX basic regular expression engine, that is called BRE. The POSIX extended regular expression engine called ERE. Okay, so these are two types of engines that has been so far in POSIX, that is the Linux system. Okay, most Linux utilities at minimum conform to the POSIX BRE engine specification. So any Linux tool that are supporting the regex at least supports the BRE. ERE could be there, could not be there, that we have to check the man page. SED only conform to the subset of the BRE specification. Here SED by default conforms to BRE, but not the entire BRE defined by the POSIX, that is the Linux system, but a subset of that. The POSIX ERE engine is often found in programming language like Java, Perl and Python that rely on regular expression for text filtering. So we know that the Java, Perl and Python, these are widely used for regular expression matching. Okay, and in these cases these engines have the ERE. Okay, these languages regular expression engine is ERE, not BRE. Okay, it provides advanced pattern symbols as well as special symbols for common patterns such as matching digits, words and alphanumeric characters. Okay, we are talking about ERE here. The GNU awk, okay, we'll come to the next episode on awk. Okay, the awk program or GWAWK, okay, it is the binary, could be awk or GWAWK. GWAWK means it is GNU awk, okay, and awk is the old one that came with Unix and Linux from the beginning. So we'll talk about GWAWK because that is more up to date one. When we refer awk, we generally refer as GAWK. So the GNU awk program uses ERE engine to process its regular expression patterns. So by default in awk, the regular expression engine is ERE, whereas in SED, the by default the regular expression engine is BRE. Okay. So here we have discussed the BRE and ERE, these two type of engines. Now let's see about them. So SED ERE. Here we are talking about SED and we are giving the description of the ERE. Command line switches for ERE. So as discussed in previous slide, right, we have the BRE by default, but in SED we also have ERE, and to access that ERE engine we must use couple of things. Here are they. The -E, the switch, -R, -regexp -extended. So any of these three can be used to turn on the ERE engine that is inside SED. Okay. Use extended regular expression rather than basic regular expression. What this does, these three, either of these three command line switches does. ERE can be clearer because they usually have fewer black backslashes. So guys, if you have come across Perl or Python or Java, right, you know that the regular expression matching there is less complicated because we are using less backslashes, okay, there for the regular expression matching, okay, and we only use the backslash there when we are try to convert a special character into a regular character. GNU SED has accepted -E as a undocumented options for years and BSD. SED have accepted -E for years as well, but scripts that use -E might not prompt to other older systems. So we are talking about system specification, but still at my end, when I try with our latest systems, we can use -E very easily. The special characters recognized by the regular expressions are, so here we are going to talk about the special characters: dot, star, rectangular bracket, caret, dollar, curly bracket, backslash, plus, question mark, pipe, then parenthesis. So guys, just take a snapshot of all these characters in your mind. These will be going to use for the regular expression matching. We are done with this section. We move on to the next section. So we are talking about SED, BRE and ERE engine here. In GNU SED, the only difference between basic and extended regular expression is in the behavior of the few characters, that is question mark, plus, parenthesis, braces and pipe. Okay. With BRE syntax, the characters do not have special meaning unless prefixed with a backslash, while ERE, the syntax is reversed. There the characters are special unless they are prefixed with a backslash. So we mentioned these special characters and also in the previous slide, right? So these special characters in BRE we have to accompany a backslash at first, but in ERE we do not have to do that. Okay, and these are the two conventions that are different, or rather specific convention to BRE and ERE, and that's how BRE and ERE at user end comes as a different. Okay, so here in this table, let us see what happens. So here let me bring my mouse pointer so that I can show. So little plus sign, okay, we echo this a plus b equal to c into a file foo. Okay, here we have dumped this data in foo, and then we use sed dash n and a plus b, okay, and p foo. Okay, so it gives a plus b plus c. Okay, and here we use a plus b equal to c, dump it. Okay, and to do the same thing here, okay, to match the plus here, right, what is happening, right, we have to use a backslash. So here if you see, right, this plus is treated as a plus, okay, and not as a special character plus here that we have mentioned. And in the right hand side here we are dealing this, by default this is a special character, and we, to make it a normal character, right, we have to use a backslash. So since this has a single line, right, this will just show this one, right, and say try doing this, right, you remove this backslash and try to print, right, here it will not come out. So the syntax, if you keep same in both of these operation, right, what will happen, that in one case it will work and in another case it will not work, and vice versa. Okay, say one more example here, echo AAB, and we dump it into foo, and we run our sed right here, and we check this is just matching. Okay, here we are matching, we are doing the matching only, not the substitution, and here we use plus as a special character. Here we used plus as a regular character, and here we are using it as a special character, so we include backslash. So what will mean that a will, this will match with two a's, okay, here. Okay, so I think this is plus means that one or more times, so a comes here one or more times, that is two times here, and then b, so this will not match a plus b, rather a, if it is there a, that is ab or aab or AAAB, then this regular expression will work here. And on the right hand side, to do the same, we just give the plus sign and remove the backslash. So this is the basic difference between the BRE syntax and the ERE syntax. So this table with two different examples we have shown. So I'll request you to try out at your end these two examples. This is a simple example. Try out and see the difference. Try both these things, that you keep the backslash and remove the backslash, and in the same sequence you compare this. Rather you can write a script, inside that you can put all of them, all the combinations, and see the results. Okay, so we are done with this section. Let's move on to the next section. Here we are talking about sed BRE syntax. Now we will go in detail. Okay, this star, the special characters here. Okay, the star matches a sequence of 0 or more instances of matches of the preceding regular expression, which must be an ordinary character, a special character produced by backslash, a dot, a group of regular expression, okay, or a bracket of or a bracket expression. Okay, so star means it will match 0 or more time the particular thing is present, so it could be a character or something like. Dot matches any character including a new line, so any character it matches. Caret matches the null string at the beginning of the pattern space, that is string. So later I will come to the different examples of said, and there you will see how these characters are being used. Dollar, it matches same as caret but refers to end of a pattern space. Here by pattern space, what we can understand, it is a, it is a string, beginning of a string or end of a string, or if it is a line, the beginning of a line or a end of a line. So this pattern space means this a text, particular text uh, text stream which is uh, captured inside delimiters. Okay, the backslash plus here as start but matches one or more times. Okay, so plus means one or more time. The question mark uh, backslash then question mark as start but only matches 0 or 1. Okay, the question mark means it matches 0 or 1 time. So here it is backslash I then slash, it is as start but matches exactly I sequences. So here you can put a decimal integer, okay, and the range will be from 0 to 255. So you can match give the range of this matching here. Okay, because these three, like star, plus and question mark, they are limited to their use, but if you want to extend the matching of the character, right, in that case you can extend the matching with or be specific with this particular syntax. Then ij, it means matches between I and j, so inclusive sequences. So here you are giving a limit from I to j, and this particular syntax you are using matches more than or equal to I sequences. Okay, so that means I sequences it could be, okay, or more than that. So here we are matching the group. So here we each of the parentheses is preceded by a backslash, and inside that we match a group of text. Okay, we can match multiple such groups in a particular string, and each will come to one particular RE match. Okay, so backslash n matches a new line character. Then regular expression 1, pipe, and pipe has to be preceded by backslash, matches either regular expression 1 or regular expression 2. So guys, this is the full set of BRE syntax that we are using for regular expression matching. Let's see some example here. A, B, C, D, E, F. If we use that string for matching, right, it matches A, B, C, D, E, F. Then if we use A star B, this matches 0 or more A followed by a single B. So for example, B or A, B. Okay, so star is 0 or more times. Okay, so it can this can match A star B with B or multiple A then B. Okay, A then question mark then B matches B or AB. A then plus then B then plus matches one or more A's followed by one or more B's, like AB is the shortest, and then multiple A then one B, then one A then multiple B, or multiple A followed by multiple B. So this can matches. So this is how regular expression matches. So then if we write dot start or dot class, these two both matches all the characters in a string. However, in the first case, every string, while in the second matches only the string containing least one character. Okay, so because plus is one or more times, right, at least there will be one string. So I'd like you'll see some examples, and at your end you can try out, because until or unless you try out the regular expression at your end, it will be difficult to grasp the utility of a regular expression. So here, if we enclose these characters, right, A to Z, then capital A to capital Z, and then 0 to 9 within a rectangular bracket, this matches a sequence of any ASCII letters and digits. So it will capture any combination of alphanumeric text. Okay, then caret, then hash. So this matches a line beginning with hash, backslash, backslash, dollar. So this matches a string ending with a backslash. Okay, the regular expression contains 2 backslashes for escaping. Okay, so the first backslash escapes, it acts as a escape character for the backslash, otherwise it has a special meaning. Okay, backslash dollar, instead this matches a string consists of a single dollar sign because it is escape. Okay, so let's move on to the next section, that is sed ERE syntax. The only difference between basic and extended regular expression is in the behavior of a few characters. So these are question mark, plus, parenthesis, braces, and pipe. While in basic regular expression requires these to be escaped to use as special characters, in ERE there is no escape needed. Let's see some examples. So said in this section we'll see BRE and ERE example. Okay, compared side by side. So ABC then question mark becomes a ABC backslash question mark using a extended regular expression. It matches the string ABC then question mark. C backslash plus becomes C plus using extended regular expression, and it matches one or more C's. A then backslash opening curly bracket, then 3, then comma, then backslash, then closing curly bracket becomes without the backslashes in extended regular expression. It matches 3 or more A's. So here in this next one we also see the backslash vanishes and becomes without backslash in the extended regular expression. It matches either ABCA BC or ABCA BC ABC. Okay, so you have to try out to understand this as I said earlier. So this next one becomes without the backslashes, okay, for the grouping, right, when using extended regular expression, and A backslash pipe B becomes A pipe B when we are using extended regular expression, and it matches A or B. So this is how the things will be different in BRE and ERE. So you can make a choice whether in which you are comfortable. Okay, you can choose either BRE or ERE. Better you get accustomed to the ERE, because once you move on with the other languages like Perl, Python, okay, in there the ERE is used. So if you remember, better you can remember one particular convention, and that you can recall globally and use you in your coding style. Okay, so we are done with this section. Let's move on. So set delimiters, let's look an example. Okay, we start our script here, and the set delimiters in substitution is s, then slash, then slash, then slash, then g. In between the first two slashes we mention the string that we need to substitute, and in that second two slashes in between we mention the replacement. Okay, these delimiters, anything can be used as delimiter, not only slash. So this is the fact that I have to bring to you. That's why I have giving this example, and here is the content of the file that I am going to use in the next lines. Remember the delimiter could be anything. So we write sed then s slash about slash nothing about, okay, then g, okay, and test. We give the input name, input file name. We have dumped the text in test. So here it will replace about with nothing dash about, okay, in the above case. And here we can use, instead of slash, we can use colon as a delimiter, we can see. Also we can use a hash, okay. This is very more useful when we are thinking of a particular path, right, file path, right. We have to match a file path, then it becomes very confusing that the slashes inside the path, and okay, so what we can do, that we can use any thing other than slash that time, like colon or hash, and we can match a path, file path in Linux, and we can continue the path as is, okay. So the path actually in the string and the path the slash used in delimiter, we will not get confused if we use a different kind of delimiter, and this is absolutely fine in sed. So next we can see that here you will try out this example. So here you also use the colon as a delimiter. So I'll ask you to try out this example at your own to grasp the meaning. So the motivation behind this particular slide is that you can use anything other than slash as a delimiter in sed. Sed the matching lines, okay. Start our script here, printing the matching lines only. So in sed we do the matching, okay, by regular expression, right, and we want to print only the lines that is matching with our given text, okay. So using gp along with n, so what we will do, sed dash n, then we write s, then slash about, then slash nothing with followed by gp, and we close it and give the file name. And here we give a separator just to understand. Ignore the case matching, okay. If we want to ignore the case, right, what we do here, we remove that particular p right here, so this will ignore the case, okay. If we try out this particular example, you will see that how it is different, okay. So test file data is given in previous slide, so you will go and try out this thing and see how these two is giving you different, so the meaning will be very clear to you. And we have used a separator here just to differentiate between the two outputs. So we are done with this section. Let's move on to the next sections. Sed, printing the line number, okay. We begin our script, and here we are using like head command, display the first two lines and quit, okay. So sed, then 2, then q, and we close our single quote and then the text, okay. So this does what, it prints first two lines and quit. So here instead of 2 you can use any number, and you can use sed like a head command. You know the head command in Linux, or in case you don't know, you check out the man page of head. So here you can use the sed as a head command, and we echo a separator here and display the line numbers, okay. Why you are using the separator in the same script, right? If you are getting outputs, right, they will be one after another, and in case you do not use a separator, right, for your understanding the things may not be clear, okay. One this separator will separate out two different line. So here we write what, sed, then within single quote equal to then test, okay. Pipe sed n colon s, substitute backslash n with 4 dashes, okay. So you can try out this, okay, with and without the pipe, okay. So you'll come to know how sed is printing the line numbers, okay. So that's all in this particular slide. Let's move on to the next slide. First and last word substitution. So guys, before saying anything, I'll just like to mention these example and tried and tested at my end. I'm leaving the trials of these things at your end so that you learn the bash programming by yourself. I can show here, but once you try out at your end, you will get the good understanding of it. Okay, so let's begin this example. Start our script here, removing the first word here. What we will do, and sed, then s, then caret. Okay, then substitute dash w star, and we substitute with nothing. So here we have done the substituting the first word. We echo a separator, reviewing the first word with the space. So here we have done a different thing here. Then after w star we have put a dot. You must see that how it different. We echo a separator, and then we are removing here the last word. Sorry about the typo here, removing one o got missing. So here what we do is that s, then slash w, then star, then dollar. So this dollar marks the last of a text. Okay, so here we are removing the last word. Okay, matching, and we are substituting this last word with nothing, because in the next pair of forward slashes there is nothing in between. So this will remove the last word. So you will try out this example at your end, replacing with a matched phrase. We start our script here. We have a abc.txt. First we cat it just to see the what is the content. Then we echo our first separator, substituting the match phrase with itself plus something more. So we have the text on somewhere in the txt file, and we substitute on with itself. Okay, that is %. In the substitution phrase, we can see that within single parenthesis we have %. So we are substituting the match phrase with itself. We echo the second separator, and in the next one we substitute in with %2. So in will be replaced by into. Okay, you must try out. You can create the abc.txt as you wish, and you can change the words of the matching words by yourself. So the next separator we have echoed, and the next, so if we write the script in a script file and give it to abc.txt, you can see. So this is just an example, and in the fourth separator is echoed, substituting the word with boundary. We substitute one with itself. Okay, that is %, within first within the parenthesis. We echo the next separator, and we substitute here the bone and then with %. Okay, so try out all these examples, because it's all for learning side. You have to try out as more as you try out at your end, you learn at one more, because when you have to use sed, right, in your specific case you have to define it. Before that your mind should be very clear what you are learning and how the sed is working. Okay, so try out this example. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Sed transliterate. Okay, here we start our script, and this is a comment, but we example we are using here, we are encrypting. Okay, so sed for transliterating we have to use y, not s. Okay, and then we use slash. Okay, and we mention the same stream of characters a to j we have mentioned, and then 1 to 9 we have mentioned. and in the next after the slash, you can see in the example. And what this will do, it will be replacing A with 0, B with 1, C with 3, and so on, and finally J with 9 inside the abc.txt. It will make an output with the changed, but it will not modify, as we know. And here what will happen, that some of the alphabets are replaced by its desired numeral. Okay, so this is one way you can encrypt a text. No one else will be able to understand, only you know the mapping, right? So just for a fun, you can try it out. You can write a text file and you can encode it with your own mapping. So we echo here a separator, and you're operating transliteration only to two lines, line 1 to line 2. So here we can see that within single quote, okay, we are using 1 comma 2, then the within curly braces we write the y slash a to j, and then slash 1 to 9, and then abc.txt. So this particular transliteration will do the encoding on these 1 and 2, the two lines, okay, and this will do the transliterating. Okay, fine. So we are done with this particular example. Thank you very much for listening up to this part, and bye. For more interesting videos, subscribe to Tech Simplified TV and hit the bell icon for updates.